Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Yeah, meteorologist Joe Ansel here. Get you an update on your forecast. Had some below average high temps in Charleston yesterday, 82. That was 4 below average. Yesterday's average was 86. Today, most of us are likely dry. There's some areas east, pretty much right around the mountains, that has a slight chance of an isolated shower and thunderstorm. But some locally heavy rain around any thunderstorm is possible, and there may be some lingering patchy dense fog too before that dissipates. Fly saver forecast, it starts at home. A lot of the cities in here, there will be some increasing concerns for high heat and humidity. Seeing a large number of heat advisories, extreme heat watches, and extreme heat warnings, which include spots like Washington, D.C. 99 and Wednesday, some prolonged heat. A heat wave underneath the heat dome should last through the holiday weekend, and I'll have to watch some heat for us as well in the days ahead. Highs mid-80s to low 90s from panhandle to panhandle here, likely dry. Again, near the mountains, a slight chance of a brief shower and thunderstorm with some locally up to heavy rain with any storm is a possibility. Highs around the mid-80s for the eastern panhandle. Again, slight chance of showers and storms around the mountains. To the west, highs up to 91, so increasing heat and humidity now. And down to the south, 91 in Huntington today. We'll have highs low to low 80s to low 90s here in southern areas of the state. For your 5 days in Morgantown and Charleston, increasing high heat and humidity. Some areas of the state may approach some daily record highs and warm record lows here. We're mostly dry and hot through the week, so we'll watch the increasing heat and humidity as an exceptionally strong ridge of high pressure develops overhead with increasing heat and humidity. Friday, the 4th, Sunday, I'll have to watch for some chances of showers and storms with still some warm to hot conditions in there too, so be mindful and plan ahead if you got some holiday weekend plans. Near 94 on the 4th, chance of showers and storms.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Live from West Virginia's capital city with news from across the state. This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law, with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and Metro News' Dave Allen.
Welcome in to the 2 o'clock hour on this Monday. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Ryan Nichols and Stephanie Pauly, our producers today. Open line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK-304. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK-304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
On a Monday edition of Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Dave Allen in the host chair, Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nichols, and our producers today. Open line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. You can text me 304-TALK-304 or call 1-800-765-TALK. Welcome into the show now. Mitch Carmichael, former Senate president, and how you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
A bunch of different titles you've had over the years.
I've had a lot of different roles in state government.
Jackson County heavyweight champion or something like
that?
Yeah,
middleweight.
Middleweight. I think they just throw that term heavyweight out there, you know. You and Joe Parsons.
Yeah, Joe's a great guy.
Yeah. All right. So I got a variety of things I want to talk to you about. First of all, how have you been since you left? I'm going to say, since you left public office. You're still in the public eye. I mean, you're still out there doing a lot of things. What are you up to these days? What keeps you busy mostly?
Well, I have a great position with LG Nova Corporation. Many of your listeners will be familiar with LG Electronics, with the computers and appliances and TVs and so forth. So they also have an innovation division that focuses on economic development, and I have the privilege of running their Appalachian Innovation Corridor, which the vision for this project is to bring Silicon Valley, the opportunities and so forth that exist in Silicon Valley, to the Appalachian region, which includes 13 states, as you know, of which West Virginia is the only state that is completely comprised within the Appalachian Regional Commission. So I'm very busy every day working on promoting opportunities and entrepreneurship, investment in the state of West Virginia. And we have some great projects teed up.
And, in the area that you are from, I mean, Jackson County, I did the Mason County, so on and so forth. There's been a lot, and not necessarily related to what you do, but there has been a lot of excitement come out of those areas over the last year or two. A lot of things going on.
Yeah,
there.
actually, I would go back even maybe 3 years because when I was the Secretary of Economic Development, we did the Nucor transaction, we did the Berkshire Hathaway transaction, and the TiMet Metals transaction, which are all just monumental, game-changing projects that we should collectively, as the state of West Virginia, be incredibly proud.
One of the things I want to ask you about, and it's not related to anything that you're doing now, as the gas prices have gone up, there has been, and who knows what's going to happen, I mean, it changes every 20 minutes what's going on over in Iran, but many people in West Virginia and other states have said, look, we need to suspend the gas tax. We need to give West Virginians a break. Other people have said, look, it's going to hurt the various projects that are out there, different contracts, so on and so forth. Where's Mitch Carmichael on that?
Well, let me just say, it sounds politically good, and therefore that's the reason you see a lot of politicians, gravitating towards, do a tax holiday or a tax suspension on the West Virginia gas tax. This is the classic idea that sounds better than it is. This would be, in my opinion, a really bad idea. The gas tax provides infrastructure projects for West Virginia, and as anyone, any listener, anywhere that's driven through West Virginia knows, our infrastructure continues to need updates, upgrades, improvements, and enhancements. And so to arbitrarily step in, but for political purposes, to call for a suspension of the gas tax on a temporary basis is I just think it's not a good idea. I respect those who are calling for it, but I just cannot support a move in that direction. Furthermore, Dave, when you think about it, and the statistics bear this out, let's just say you suspended the entire, I think it's 36 cent West Virginia gas tax, the entire amount of it. Who's to say that entire suspension is going to go toward the consumer? In other words, will the retailers, will the wholesalers, will there be others that take a portion of that savings? And even if you use fill up once a week, you're probably talking $5 savings. Now, that's not insignificant. That's a lot. Right, yeah, I'm not demeaning it, but I'm just saying in the grand scheme of things, infrastructure and keeping up with our infrastructure needs is vitally important, not only for today, but for future generations and economic development. Go ahead.
And I was just going to say, we have some serious infrastructure issues in West Virginia, and there's a variety of reasons. You can point at it. You can say, well, it's because of years and years of neglect. It's because the bottom line is there's a lot of people in West Virginia whose communities are hurting. And I'm not talking about, I'm talking about, you go down to McDowell County and I'm not blaming any person or any party. I'm just saying years and years of neglect, not enough tax base, being paid into it. All these things go into it, and we got a lot of major infrastructure issues in West Virginia.
Absolutely,
major.
Yes, absolutely. And can you imagine you suspend it for a month or whatever, and then try to re-implement it? I mean, it's just going to be. It's just one of those deals that some political people use it for populist reasons. And again, I have respect for all those who are calling for the suspension of the gas tax, but I just think, as leaders, we need to be more responsible to this and future generations.
Talking to Mitch Carmichael, I want to talk to you about Greyhound racing for a moment, because I've had people on this show from both sides of the aisle. I had Delegate Sean Fluharty on last week, serves out of Ohio County. Obviously that's an area that is very, very dependent, or it's a big part of their economic playbook. I've had people from the national organizations that are asking for the Greyhound racing to be done away with in West Virginia. And we just saw a week or so ago that a group of legislators came together and are asking for it to be done away with. You were part of writing some of the legislation about Greyhound racing. Where are you?
Yeah, well, To be clear, I was against greyhound racing when I was in the legislature. I authored some legislation that we brought to a vote when I was the Senate president that failed on the floor. All the Democrats voted against it, and enough Republicans to do away with greyhound racing. Actually, and let me again, I've taken on this mantra of saying, look, people aren't bad that we disagree with. Sean Fluharty, Laura Wakeham Chapman, those people that are calling for the retention of greyhound racing are good people. They have their reasons for doing it. What I would say is, though, West Virginia is the only state that still has commercial greyhound racing. It's the only state. And not only are we the only state doing it, we require these people to do it. And so what I think we should do is to just simply give the tracks the option. If they want to continue to have greyhound racing, then maybe they should be able to allow to do that. It's a business decision. But to utilize $15 to $20 million every year to provide purses for those who win greyhound racing. Now, you think about that as we are confronting, school funding issues. We just talked about infrastructure issues. Some of the many, many things for which these funds, limited amount of funds, can be utilized to help alleviate these other problems. You got to think: is this the best and highest uses of these funds, even for the tracks? My opinion, the tracks don't even want to do this. It's just a requirement of the legislature and previous legislatures to say, we're going to make you do greyhound racing, and it just really makes no sense.
What about the economic impact, though, if you do away with the areas that are, I don't want to say dependent on, but as I said, it's a big part of their playbook. To that, you would say what? Yeah,
well, I would say that many studies support the fact that if you are betting on greyhound racing and you're a West Virginia doing that you will use those funds for other entertainment venues. So, and those who say there are thousands of jobs associated with greyhound racing, I would point to a study that was just recently published by Michael Hicks. Many of your listeners may be familiar with him. He ran the Marshall's Center for Business and Economic Development. He's a PhD economist. And, others that are on the other side of this issue say, we need greyhound racing, They're not economic experts, as is Michael Hicks. And he firmly is on the position that this is not economically advantageous for West Virginia. In fact, it's a net negative. So, in addition to the welfare and humane treatment of the animals, we also ought to contemplate the fact that it's not in the economic best interest of either the casinos, the racetracks that have to do it, or the state of West Virginia in general. Those funds could be utilized for other sources.
You mentioned school funding. And last week there were some pretty harsh words put out there by a state school board president, Paul Hardesty. And I've known Paul for a lot of years. He's a Logan County guy like I am, and Paul pretty much calls it like it is. Mm-hmm. And when he said that we are facing some perilous times in our public school system with the school aid formula, and that counties are looking at going out of business as far as their school systems go. This is not your local hardware store. This is a county school systems across the state of West Virginia. Many of them are facing a very, very grim future because of the school aid formula, whatever. You served a long time. You looked at all these school aid formulas. What do you think?
Yeah, well, obviously, the schools that are, let me say again, Paul Hardesty's a great man. I served with him in the legislature, really have a lot of respect for him. But in this case, for someone to say we've got issues with the school funding system, and we do, but it's also a call for more money for the school system. So don't let anyone deceive you in the fact of saying this is a necessary reform or something like that. It is a cry for more money, and more money may be needed in this. I think some has been siphoned in other directions, but public school systems are a vitally important social and educational aspect of our society. We absolutely need to make sure they are world class in West Virginia. They have not been. under previous funding streams or whatever, any measure you can look at ranks West Virginia near the bottom in our public school system. So we desperately need reform in that. Paul mentioned in his comments that Section 18A of the West Virginia Code that specifies how to run public school systems needs reform. Amen. It needs a complete overhaul so that we give public school systems the same flexibility that charter and private school, public charter and other private school systems have. They need to have that flexibility so in order that they can run more efficiently. But we absolutely, as a society, need to support great public education. As we're coming up on our 250th birthday, the Founding Fathers recognized that without an educated electorate, we cannot sustain this democracy. So people need to, and that is the great equalizer in society is education. So I'm a huge proponent, in spite of what many of the public school people might say, I'm a huge supporter and proponent of public education. But we need to do it and require accountability and performance. We cannot allow, this is a scandal, in my view, on a national proportion to have poorly rated school systems for decades in West Virginia and not substantively overhaul it. So, I commend all those that really want to roll up their sleeves and dig into why we are failing our children and our next generation. And yes, we do need to support our public school systems and make sure that there are high performers and that the next generation of West Virginians can live, work, raise a family in our state because this century and those going forward are all based around education. Other than saying, getting into a very specific aspect of it, the legislature knows this needs done. And the delay is, it's hard to explain why they just don't dig into this. The alarms have been raised. It's time to do something.
I don't know what else you can do at this point. I mean, we've been looking at this, and full disclosure, I was a student in public schools.
Me too.
But I also don't have kids. Okay,
Yep.
And so people have called me to task about you don't even have kids. I mean, what do you? Well, you don't have to necessarily have kids to see what the problem is. I don't know exactly what the problem is because it seems like over the years, Mitch, and this goes back, as you said, through previous administrations and so on and so forth, we put money on things and this didn't work. And now, I mean, the school systems are losing like I think the figure I saw was like 5,000 students have parents or have dropped out of the public school system. Now, some of those maybe have moved out of state. Maybe some of those have gone to other learning besides just your traditional public school, whatever. That's a lot. That's a lot to lose.
Yep.
And our buildings are in many cases are in really, really bad shape. And nobody wants to see their schools closed in their community, but it's going to happen. It's already happened in a lot of counties. It's going to continue to happen. Do you think we should at some point at least look at consolidating school systems?
Oh yeah, from a county perspective, yes, I totally support that. Now, but I am a huge proponent of community schools. I don't like, and I think we should avoid to the greatest extent possible the closure of public schools in local communities. It is the lifeblood of a local community, and this concept of bigger is more efficient and more cost effective, I think is deserves some additional study. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
The state of Ohio has, we talk about how many school districts West Virginia has, 55 counties and so forth. The state of Ohio, which is ranked much higher than West Virginia in terms of performance, has something like 600 school districts. They value that input of the local community. And I think when the local parents and school systems are more engaged in a local environment, that the performance will go up. You don't have kids on buses all day, and when the local parents are aware of the performance of their local school system, and they can get engaged and make a difference. Because if you post the results of a school system in, as Senator Justice would say, in Toby and E district, And, and they look at it and just say, hey, you finished last here and last here and last here. And, our friends in other states are way better performing. They're going to make a change. They're going to get involved and make a difference. So I think we can solve this problem. It's more one of media shining the light on it and just making some substantive overhauls, but not embracing the concept of big is better. I think local is better.
All right, we only got about a minute. I do want to ask you quickly about economic development because you're doing this in the private sector now, but you've been a part when you were in the legislature of a lot of these big developments that you mentioned earlier. We're going to continue to see these investments because here's the problem. We're getting all these investments, and we all love to hear about these things coming in, but we still got a lot of problems in West Virginia. What are we doing out there to make sure that people know, hey, West Virginia is a good place to come and do business? I know it's a very quick setup for about 30 seconds, but go ahead.
Well, I say the United Van Lines tracks move immigration and immigration. And West Virginia has one of the highest, top 5 in the nation of people moving to the state for work and business and jobs. We have a great setup. The legislature over the past decade has reformed the laws, tax structure, and so forth to make West Virginia a really good place to do business. We just need a team in place to go out and sell that advantage, that value proposition to the rest of the world. And I think we can do that, make quick decisions, and get people to come to West Virginia to see the beauty and the advantages that we have. And then many of these other problems will get solved. I'll end on this note, a famous Ronald Reagan quote: a job is the best social program, and that will solve a lot of other problems in our state.
Good place to leave it. Mitch Carmichael, pleasure to have you on the show today. Thanks
great.
a lot. 2:25, we'll take a break and come back after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
West Virginia is home. It's where we work, live, and raise our families. At the heart of our communities are West Virginia hospitals and their compassionate caregivers. From life-saving treatments and emergency care to wellness support and screening services, we are improving your quality of life through extraordinary achievements and amazing results. West Virginia Hospitals. Your health is the heartbeat of our communities.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in store at Daniel's.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Welcome back to the show. We'll close this segment. We have a story posted at WVMetroNews.com. A legendary figure in West Virginia broadcasting has passed away. Tony Brown, television journalist, educator, civil rights advocate, grew up in Charleston, has passed away. Best known as a commentator of the long-running syndicated show Tony Brown's Journal. He actually passed on June 17th at his home in Newport News, Virginia, 93 years old. And his death was announced on his Facebook page. Of course, he was the youngest of 5 children born here in Charleston. What a legendary career for Tony Brown. And again, we have a story posted about it, WVMetroNews.com. Brad McElhenney has that story. We'll take a break. Open line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. Nothing but your calls and text, 1-800-765-TALK. Or you can text 304-TALK-304. It's Metro News Midday. And now we'll go to the
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Yeah, meteorologist Joe Ansel here. Got you an update on your forecast. Had some below average high temps in Charleston yesterday, 82. That was 4 below average. Yesterday's average was 86. Today, most of us are likely dry. There's some areas east, pretty much right around the mountains, that has a slight chance of an isolated shower and thunderstorm. But some locally heavy rain around any thunderstorm is possible, and there may be some lingering patchy dense fog too before that dissipates. Fly saver forecast, it starts at home. A lot of the cities in here, there will be some increasing concerns for high heat and humidity. Seeing a large number of heat advisories, extreme heat watches, and extreme heat warnings, which include spots like Washington, D.C. 99 and Wednesday, some prolonged heat. A heat wave underneath the heat dome should last through the holiday weekend, and I'll have to watch some heat for us as well in the days ahead. Highs mid-80s to low 90s from Panhandle to Panhandle here, likely dry. Again, near the mountains, a slight chance of a brief shower and thunderstorm with some locally up to heavy rain with any storm is a possibility. Highs around the mid-80s for the eastern Panhandle. Again, slight chance of showers and storms around the mountains. To the west, highs up to 91, so increasing heat and humidity now. And down to the south, 91 in Huntington today. We'll have highs low to low 80s to low 90s here in southern areas of the state. For your 5 days in Morgantown and Charleston, increasing high heat and humidity. Some areas of the state may approach some daily record highs and warm record lows here. We're mostly dry and hot through the week, so we'll watch the increasing heat and humidity as an exceptionally strong ridge of high pressure develops overhead with increasing heat and humidity. Friday, the 4th, Sunday, I'll have to watch for some chances of showers and storms with still some warm to hot conditions in there too, so be mindful and plan ahead if you got some holiday weekend plans. Near 94 on the 4th, chance of showers and storms.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
If it matters in West Virginia, it's being talked about here.
I always said I was going to move to a mountain in Tucker County, but probably going to put a data center on it, so I got to find a new plan.
Oh, you did not.
Oh, I did.
Told you it's a little grumpy today.
Oh,
Three or
man,
four-
you got some zingers today, Dave. I love it.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com. With Metro News Hotline, if it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have two vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're like the 12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from Norwegian think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
.org/possible.
This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com.
Welcome back to the show. It is 26 away from 3 o'clock on a Monday afternoon. Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit SalangoLaw.com. Dave Allen in the host chair, Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson are our producers today, introducing Metro News television weather. Metro News meteorologist Brian Hughes on your radio. His team of meteorologists are on all of your connected screens, giving you the latest weather updates. Also, check us out on social media as well. Metro News Television. Download the app and follow Brian and his team of meteorologists. And right now, I'm going to do my Brian Hughes impersonation by saying it's going to be hot, really hot. That's all you need to know. And I'm not even a meteorologist, nor do I play one on the radio. Yeah, temps are going to be by the middle to the end of the week as we head into the 4th of July holiday. Temps are going to be, this is not heat index, this is actual temperatures. Near 100. Many areas, including the capital city, heat indices could be as much as 105 to 110 degrees. So if you are going out for this Independence holiday, whatever's going on in your town, or you're barbecuing, or you're doing whatever it is that you are doing, coming to any of the fairs, festivals, we got a couple little ones here in Charleston. Don't know if you've heard about them. The Regatta and the Capital City America 250 Bash going on. Definitely plan on hydrating yourself because you are going to need it. Well, before we get to Open Line West Virginia, I just want to say something. During the 12 o'clock hour, we interviewed Beth Cook from the department store in Mann in Logan County called Mann Clothing and Jewelry. They are closing their doors after I thought it was closer to 100 when I talked to Beth last week. And actually, as she said, I started doing the gazendas. And if you don't know what gazendas are, it's 2 goes into 4, 4 goes into 8, 8 goes into 16, so on. It's a Southern West Virginia thing. But anyway, she said that when they started doing the math, they realized that they don't really know all the history of the family store, and so they've got it kind of an estimation of about 93 years old is how old it was. Anyway, we were talking on the air about going to these stores, and I'm sure your town had very similar stores, and buying books for school. And I made that comment, and Rusty Webb, attorney who was on during the 12 o'clock hour, Rusty's a Boone County guy, he didn't really know what I was talking about. Amanda, who's a Cleveland girl, had no idea what I was talking about. But yes, maybe I'm just crazy. Okay, which that's certifiable. I got papers. But there is something that I do remember about going into schools, into the Mann Mercantile to be exact, and buying books for school. We did it. You know, and apparently Rusty, who's, I think, 9, 10 years older than I am, and Amanda, who's 10 years younger than I, didn't know anything about it. But I'm telling you, we went into schools and we went into stores and bought a lot of our own books in school. And Amanda said to me during the break, she was like, in public school? I said, yeah, we did it. I didn't just make it up. We did it. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Text says on Greyhound Racing in West Virginia is beneficial, and that is a unique experience. There's no reason to ban it or get rid of it. You have it all over everywhere else. Every other state has the casinos without it. You have horse racing, so cruelty, the animal just doesn't fit, leave it alone, keep it there, and market in West Virginia as a unique experience to bring people in, says a texter. Also, they follow up with it needs to be better marketed for it to be successful. And if it's, And if it's you made it, how it's okay for the horses, says the texter. I think I got that right. 1-800-765-TALK. That's the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Text says, will the governor go head-to-head with Regatta if Charleston was ran by a Republican man instead of a strong Democratic woman? I think not. So petty. I mentioned this when I was on with Wilson on Talk. I'm not a conspiracy theorist kind of guy. I don't necessarily think that's the case. And look, America only turns 250 one time. Okay, this is the biggest anniversary of America that we've had since, I guess, our 225th, but certainly 50th sounds a lot better than 25th. And it's the biggest one we've had since the bicentennial. And of course it's going to go big. It just seemed to me that the timing, I know these things have been planned for some time, but I guess we just didn't hear a lot about it until recently. But look, the regatta, which was in Charleston, which was originally held around Labor Day for like 10 or more days, and now it's down to just a few. And it's held around the 4th of July. There's any number of reasons for that. The regatta has been a big deal for a long time, and of course it went away for several years, and then it came back. And I don't know. I just know that that we here in the capital city, we got a lot to celebrate. And when I say a lot, and there's a lot of places to go to celebrate too. They're only half a mile from each other, though. So you got one particular night you got Alabama playing. The next night you got Bobby Brown. Or I'm sorry, the same night you got Bobby Brown playing. So pick and choose or do both because they're actually running shuttles. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Text says the new WVU quarterback has the most magnificent hair I've ever seen. That's a texter. Let me see. Text says the study the former senator cited, stating direct state revenue generated by the Greyhound sector alone was estimated at just $413,000. Texter goes on to say that is a 1.9 to 2.75% return on investment. Let the private sector run their gambling operations. Let the poor dogs retire and put that $15 million to $22 million back into education, specifically special ed, says a texter. Text everyone, lighten up. It's America's 250th birthday. Celebrate a little. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Sarah in Morgantown. You're on the show. Good afternoon, Sarah.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to let you know that I grew up in Clarksburg, and every year at the beginning of school, my mom would have to take us to the James and Law store. We had to buy all of our books on a list. Not only books, pencils, paper, a bunch of other stuff that the school gave us a list of that we had to have.
Okay, and this was, and I don't want to. You don't have to give your age if you don't want to, but give me a decade there, Sarah. What decade was this?
I'm 76. I was born in 49.
Okay. Well, you said that. I wasn't going to drag it out of you. All right, Sarah. I appreciate your phone call. Thanks a lot. Yeah, and we had another text here that said we had to buy books and workbooks. Says this. Maybe that's what I'm remembering, but I do remember, like Sarah, and I'm not as old as she is, but I do not that that's old Sarah, but I do remember going to the store and buying a list of things, and it was the first day, second day of school. You got a list of things, and you went home, showed it to your parents, and they bought it for you. And there was a whole lot. There was a whole lot of stuff we had to have. Of course, I'm a kid of the 70s. 19 minutes away from 3. Text said, how anyone could even think about going to the governor's little jealousy party, I will never know, says a texter. Text says, when you talk to Woody Williams' grandson, he talked about the division in America. I wonder what the late, great Woody would have thought about the fact that we are being divided by the people that are in charge of the country, says the texter. Interesting point. Hey, Dave. Hi. Did you see the choke that the girl put on Caitlin Clark last week in the WNBA game? I bet you saw more realistic moves when you were wrestling, and people wonder why nobody takes the WNBA seriously. I did see, sports. Sports thrives on controversy. Sports thrives on drama, whether it's the WNBA, the NBA, NFL, whatever. They love that sort of thing. I saw it. I don't really have a comment on it one way or the other. Text, you can celebrate two things at once. Enjoy the regatta and the celebration of the Capitol. It's not that hard. Text, what a loss to the state of West Virginia when Mitch Carmichael left the stage, says a texter. I was working in state government, and I wanted to ask Mitch about this, and we made a promise when he left the studio that I am going to have him on a regular basis. I was working in state government when the teachers' strike was going on. And let's face it, with all due respect to Mitch, who I consider to be a very close friend, he was public enemy number one because of the teachers' strike. And as I said, I was working in state government. I was not at the Capitol every day, but when I was on the road a lot. But when I was at the Capitol, I remember what it was like when those teachers, and I remember the chants and so on and so forth. That having been said, and I understand a lot of people were upset at Mr. Carmichael about that whole thing. I will say this. I hope that you don't let that define who Mitch Carmichael was, because I personally, again, I'm allowed to editorialize between 2 and 3. I think he was a good man, and I think he's a good legislator, or was. 16 minutes away from 3, 1-800-765-TALK. That is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. We'll take a break and come back after this.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZMM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZMM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
A vasectomy reversal is a much more complicated procedure than a vasectomy, using sutures that are essentially smaller than your eyelash to reconstruct anatomy. I do what I do to try to help the patients of West Virginia have kids.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
In 1914, The same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
On the next State of Minds.
We cook West Virginian food is how we like to phrase it.
I knew that every time I would hear a story, and I would hear the same story, but it never got old, about what this meant to the family and how it was served and how special it was to be put on the table.
.org.
Welcome back to the show. 2:48 on a Monday afternoon. Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Stephanie Paulding, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. I am Dave Allen. 1-800-765-TALK. That is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Text is Dave. I won't celebrate 4th of July until Trump leaves office. Can't support draft dodgers that calls all veterans suckers and losers. Says he loves our country, says the texter. Well, look, I would not let who is in the White House, whether it's Donald Trump, Barack Obama, or James Garfield, keep me away from a burger and a waving of the flag and a cold beer. Not going to do it, but I appreciate your text. Text says Trump continues to embarrass this nation even more daily. Please, for the love of God, do the right thing and resign. That would be a great 200th birthday present to America. Text, why can't we just be grateful to live in the greatest country in the world and stop all the moaning and complaining? Trump is the president. Get over it. Tex Morrissey spending taxpayers' money on a fair that could have gone to school vouchers he took away or to flooded communities. He could have had something during West Virginia birthday to celebrate both, says a texter. Tex, I like what Woody Williams said after the insurrection of the Capitol. You can take my life, but you won't take my country, says a texter. 1-800-765-TALK. That is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. How nice that the governor can spend $2 million in a state that has terrible roads and dirty water. Enjoy your Ferris wheel, says a texter. Text says, I'm 71. Also remember lining up at James and Law in Clarksburg, talking about to purchase books. Text says, to celebrate Independence Day, I will have a cheap hot dog grilled on charcoal with an expensive bun. And you do you. Text, West Virginia Department of Education needs a massive overhaul, not just an updated funding formula, a complete restructuring at a minimum, says the texter. little after school, what was it called? The whole patriotic thing at ABC I was talking about last week. I'm just a bill, and I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill, says the texter. Shame on the governor. Schoolhouse Rock. Thank you, Ryan. The brain just locked up there for a moment. Ryan's not even of that generation. He knew what I was talking about. Thank you, Ryan. It just sometimes the brain doesn't work. Texas, shame on the governor for trying to celebrate America's 250th birthday and ruining regatta. That's sarcasm, Dave, says the texter. Indeed. Text says, I don't add at a county park. Maybe they meant I was at a county park last week and observed an employee killing a groundhog by hitting it in the head with a shovel. The groundhog was being cared for by another park employee and was holding the groundhog, so it showed no threat to anyone. Not a good look for that county park. I would suggest if you saw that happen that you probably contact authorities. Texas schools are failing, infrastructure's collapsing, and what's left is being sold off to the tech companies. But hey, we got a 230-foot Ferris wheel and a geriatric band in Alabama for the birthday party, brought to us by the Party of Fiscal Responsibility, says the texter. What is there to celebrate in this country if you're a minority or are poor or are a woman? Zero zilch, says the texter. Sometimes I just read them and I just go on. Text says, roads are crap, no clean water, etc. It's ridiculous what the governor's doing, says the texter. On the groundhog, I did report it. Thank you very much. Text, Dave Republican here, who voted for Trump every time he was on the ballot. The time has come, sir, for you to step aside and make J.D. Vance the president. Please do what is right for your country. Thank you for your service, sir. Metro News Midday, heard all over the great state of West Virginia. Great radio stations like WJLS in Beckley. Our flagship here in Charleston, WCHS, WKMZ Clarksburg, WD&E in Elkins, WKLP Kaiser, WVW Logan, WEPM Martinsburg, WAJR in Morgantown, WSLW in White Sulphur Springs, WKKX, and WVLY in Wheeling. Text says, while we're all arguing over which party to attend on the 4th, the rest of the world laughs at us. This is why it's hard to be an American in 2026. And with that, we'll take a break and wrap it up after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
West Virginia is home. It's where we work, live, and raise our families. At the heart of our communities are West Virginia hospitals and their compassionate caregivers. From life-saving treatments and emergency care to wellness support and screening services, we are improving your quality of life through extraordinary achievements and amazing results. West Virginia Hospitals. Your health is the heartbeat of our communities.
3 guys before the game.
What did you know about Rich Rodriguez when he's named the coach?
I didn't know nothing about it. I was like, oh, this is college ball right here.
Yeah, it's for real.
Yeah.
Available on Metro News Television.
Welcome back to the show. 3 minutes in front of 3 o'clock on a Monday afternoon. Metro News Midday. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nichols, and our producers. They look who's here. James Beard Award winner for the Betts microwave mozzarella cheese sticks in 1998. It's Dave Weekley. How you doing?
Takes a village.
Yeah.
Takes a village.
All right.
I'm doing fine. It's hot out there.
Yeah.
Hashtag instant analysis.
That's your, because I did my Brian Hughes impersonation earlier by going, it's hot.
He seems concerned.
He does.
That's always a concern to me.
During one of the breaks, he came in and he popped down. And he goes, when do you need me on the air? And I said, well, is there something I should know about? And he said, yeah, about the heat. And I said, well, okay, we'll put you on later.
Okay.
He's actually going to come on. Actually, what he's going to do is we're going to have him on during the 2 o'clock hour tomorrow. And I'm going to have him come in. And because he's tied up, in the whole regatta thing. I think he's the Commodore or something like that. Or
with the boat.
The Admiral. He's the official Admiral.
Anchors away.
Of regatta. So we're going to have him on tomorrow to kind of give a little bit of a weather, what we can expect throughout the rest of the week. I'll save you the trouble. It's hot. So there you go.
Forecast hot. Back to you.
Yeah, back to you. Yeah, from your weatherman days. What you got on the show today, big guy?
Well, we're talking about, can you get your car in your garage? Because 25% of people who have a 2-car garage can't get any cars in their garage.
I can, but you are exactly right, because I was telling you during the break, the realtor that sold us our house told me, she said, because the house we moved from had it was a townhouse and it had a 1-car garage, and I said it'll be nice not to have to move vehicles around and whatever and have both cars in the garage, and she said I would say the majority of people that I sell to, which I live in Tays Valley, the majority of people cannot get both cars in their garage.
I'm already getting responses from people saying, my truck's too big. It won't fit in my garage.
That's my neighbor. My neighbor owns a construction company, and, he got a big old Dodge, and it's not going to fit in his garage.
Just expand your garage.
Well, there you go. I live in an HOA, man. You can't just go expanding stuff. You got to have permission. Right. But, yes, I can get both vehicles in the garage.
I'd say that's good.
Yeah.
I'd say that's good. You're not a hoarder.
Well, my wife's a bargain shopper, so we got a lot of other stuff in the garage. But no, not a hoarder by any stretch of the imagination. All right, Hotline's coming up on many of these same Metro News stations. Producer Stephanie and Ryan, thank you so much. I will be back to do this all again tomorrow. Till then, have fun. I love somebody.